All right, everybody. I am back today to talk about the big fight this weekend, live from Melbourne. Israel Adesanya versus Robert Whittaker for the middleweight championship. And today we are going to talk to Joe Rogan. I'm sure he needs no introduction. Comedian, greatest combat sports commentator ever, and he hosts the biggest podcast on planet Earth, the Joe Rogan Experience. Just waiting for him to pop on here. I don't see him yet. Let me answer some questions. We'll have Rogan in here in a minute. You guys got questions? What do you got? What do you got? What do you got going on today? What do you want to know? Rogan's on?
Yeah.
All right. Hold on, we're getting Joe Rogan here.
Hey!
There he is. What's up, my brother?
What's up, brother? How are you?
Good, man. I know you were a busy dude. Thanks for taking the time to do this.
My pleasure.
So I am so pumped for this fight this weekend, as I know you are too.
Beyond.
And I love the way you break down fights. I love the way you look at fights. That's why you are the greatest combat sports commentator of all time. Talk to us. Who do you got this weekend, Adesanya or Whittaker, and why?
I never give predictions. I don't know what's going to happen because we don't really know until they fight. But what I do know is that I believe that Adesanya, Stylebender, is the most technical striker in the division, and I think he's the most technical striker that Whittaker's ever fought. He's very dangerous. That said, Whittaker is incredibly diverse. He could do so many different things, and he finds ways to win. And since moving up to 185 pounds, he's been fantastic. I mean, he's absolutely one of the best middleweights of all time. This is a chance for Stylebender to really cement his legacy. He really, right now, has the opportunity to face in Whittaker, one of the greatest middleweight champions ever, and he has a chance to catch him in his prime. And if Stylebender can beat Whittaker, he lives up to the hype, because right now his hype is substantial. The way he put away Derek Brunson, the way he fought, particularly in the last round against Kelvin Gastelum, showed that he could overcome adversity, showed heart. I mean, he got rocked in that first round against Kelvin. And Kelvin is no joke. He's a dangerous guy, and Stylebender showed the full array of his skills in that fight. I'm so pumped for this fight. I cannot wait. I think it's one of the greatest middleweight fights of all time, the most hyped up middleweight fights of all time, and two of the most skillful guys of all time in their prime. I mean, both guys are essentially right now at the peak of their greatness, and we just have to find out who's greater. I don't know. I really don't know. For me, this is a anything can happen fight. This is a who the fuck knows fight. I mean, it's just an amazing contest. I'm so excited about it, though. I really can't wait, and I really don't know how it's going to play out. I mean, is Whittaker going to be able to get a hold of Stylebender, or is Stylebender going to expose some holes in Whittaker's stand-up game? I mean, Whittaker's been able to survive some attacks the way Brunson went after him. But, like, if you look at common opponents, that's a common opponent, right? I mean, Stylebender walked right through Derek Brunson. And Whittaker, you know, Brunson came after him in that first round. But Whittaker wound up putting him away as well. But Brunson really did have some success in that first round against Whittaker that he did not have against Stylebender. And, you know, Brunson's a dangerous guy as well. And that just shows you how damn good Stylebender is, because he just picked Brunson apart. But the way that Whittaker was able to survive against Yoel Romero, who is still to this day one of the most dangerous guys ever in the middleweight division, and especially with his wrestling. I mean, he blew out Whittaker's knee early in the first fight, and Whittaker was still able to stuff the takedown attempts, keep the fight on the feet, and win a decision. Who the fuck knows, man? It's just an awesome, awesome fight. I just cannot wait.
It's true. Everything you said is absolutely true. The other question is, does Whittaker get in there, not like the stand-up, and choose to wrestle?
Yes.
I mean, he's the guy who could have wrestled in the Olympics, but didn't. So, you know, and one of the big things that worried me early on about Stylebender was his wrestling, and would he have a hard time in the UFC? But his takedown defense has looked incredible, and he's done pretty well for himself.
Well, he's very smart, and he waited till he got to the UFC. I mean, Stylebender could have fought in the UFC several years ago and thought about doing it, but really wanted to make sure that he shored up all the holes in his game, particularly his takedown defense. Really wanted to get that on point. And, I mean, he's had no problems with it at all in the UFC. Brunson tried to test it. He tried to take him down with no success at all. Kelvin did the same thing, but he's able to survive that. Look, and I think Kelvin's one of the best guys in the division. And that fight was just incredible. That fight, particularly the fifth round, showed you what kind of metal Stylebender's made out of. Because when, I don't know if you know the beginning of the first round, when he looked over at Kelvin and said, "I'm ready to die." Do you know he said that?
No, I didn't know that.
He talked about it. He looked over and he knew this was the fifth and final round. He knew this was everything. This was all on the run. And he said, you could see him say it. You could see his lips move. He goes, "I'm ready to die." And he just went out there and put it all on the fucking line and pulled it off. I mean, just dominated in that fifth and final round. He's a special guy, but so is Whittaker. That's why this is so good.
It's such a good fight for this division and for both of them and their careers and their legacies. It's a big fight.
It's a huge fight. It really is. You know, I mean, the division's on fire right now. It really is. Fire. It's like the greatest talent that we've ever had at 185 pounds is right now, I believe.
So true. I agree. Ladies and gentlemen, the best to ever do it, Mr. Joe Rogan. And remember, the prelims are at 8 o'clock Eastern on ESPN2, and the main card starts at 10 Eastern, 7 on the West Coast, ESPN, pay-per-view. Joe Rogan, I love you. Thank you for your time.